Welcome back to Pokemon XD. Last time we just did some random stuff after finding that our snag machine is gone, but now we finally have a location. But one thing that I want to show before I go through here, also I did pick up the Togepi off camera, is that the people in Phoenix City actually changed their dialogue now that you know the SS Libra is out there in the desert, which is kind of cool. It's something that I kind of forgot about this game, is that there's a lot of variety in NPC dialogue based on where you are in the story. It's something I feel isn't really talked about that often, because I think that Colosseum didn't do this nearly as much. So yeah, they all have different reactions to it. Anyway though, our next destination is Team Snag'em's Hideout. It's kind of weird that in Colosseum, you know, the game where the protagonist was actually an ex-Team Snag'em member, you never visited this place during the main story. Then in XD, you actually do. It's really weird. Anyway, though, we have a completely unrelated email. It turns out that Relgam Tower's Colosseum is now accepting entrance. I might do this at some point, I don't know, because it is the one Colosseum that we never actually did in, you know, Colosseum. So, the first trainer, in fact the first few trainers are quite weak to Psychic, so I'm going to have Lyra here, and actually I think I remember the first trainer uses something that Ricky might be good against. Oh, and Grimer can now be purified. Anyway, let's head on in here. And we're immediately greeted by the door guard. Who is Team Snag'em Agrev. If you remember, this is the guy who in Colosseum we snagged Shadow Ursaring from. So that's a pretty nice touch. Anyway, we have a Murkrow and an Oddish here. I might just leave the Oddish alone, because it's not really that big of a threat. It could use a poison move on Ricky, but we'll see. Well, Lyra's not going to sleep anytime soon, apparently. So I'll just Mark Punch you, and this is one of those few cases where Shockwave is actually okay, because Murkrow is immune to Psychic anyway, so Stab Psychic out damaging super effective Shockwave does not apply here. Speaking of which, I did look up and found out that we are getting the TM of Thunderbolt. Why the heck did you use that on Breloom? I have no idea. Anyway, we are going to be getting the TM for Thunderbolt relatively soon, so I don't feel the need to go and grind it in Mount Battle or in Battle Bingo or anything like that. While I could do that at this point, we are getting it in the next major area after this one, so it shouldn't take too long for me to have access to Thunderbolt, and then things get a lot better. Counter can be okay for, like, surprise flying moves that you survive, like Peck, but probably not going to be that useful. So let's not get Counter. You know, I just thought of something. I might want to go back to the move tutor and teach Duskull, like, Icy Wind or something. Speaking of which, I also have a possible nickname idea for Duskull as well. See, what do I tell you? This Oddish is useless. Even though Sweet Scent looks kind of cool in this this game. It's not a particularly good move, though. I like what X and Y did with it, actually giving it a field use. Well, I mean, it's always had that field use for quite a while in the series, but actually making it trigger Horde battles was pretty nice. Yeah, no, aiming a Mark Punch at that slot is not going to do much. Let's just hope this Psychic one-shots it. Uh-oh. Please don't flinch me. Double please don't flinch me, because I am the one aiming a Psychic at you. So obviously, me flinching would be very bad. This is probably not going to be all that helpful, but this is really the best thing that Ricky can do at this point. I mean, I could Stun Spore the Oddish, but I doubt the Oddish is going to really do it. Of course. But like I said, the Oddish isn't really going to do much. Now, if I'm remembering right, the first two fights here are, actually, that Stun Spore probably did help, because I'm just going to false swipe you, because now I'll probably get the Psychic in before you can flinch me again. But yeah, the first two battles are pretty heavy on things weak to Psychic, but from then on, Snag'em uses a bit more variety. So originally I thought, oh hey, Snag'em is being like our typical evil team and only using poison types, but they are actually not. They use a bit of variety later on. Definitely get Lyra leveled up though, because I do want her evolved before the boss, and this is why I brought Ricky to this battle. Because obviously, Absol will not like Mark Punch. I wonder if I should heal just in case I don't one-shot the Absol with Mark Punch, and just in case Lyra faints before getting the experience. Let's go ahead and dip into my 28 Moo Milks. These will probably serve me well for a while. But we'll see. Absol is pretty fragile. But I had a feeling that would happen, so I'm glad that I decided to, well, use a non-attacking move anyway, so that was kind of dumb of you. But I should be able to end this fight quickly next turn. Even a super effective acid doesn't do all that much. Again, it's another move that looks pretty cool. I like all of the moves that have sort of water-like effects in this game. They all look pretty nice. But Absol is down, and sadly they cut out the part of its fanning animation where it just sits down, which I always found was kind of funny. Yeah, that special attack and special defense will be getting a lot better soon. But even with mediocre special attack, I should have enough to one-shot this Oddish. Let's see. Don't know if I mentioned it before, but my sister really likes Oddish. She always used to, and she still does, I think. No Ursa Ring for us this time, though. Well, I mean, I guess pretending to join and then stealing the snack machine would be an option, but I think they'd probably see that coming. So, gonna go ahead and use the healing machine here. Thankfully, this is still here. There's no PC here anymore, at least I'm pretty sure there was a PC here back in Colosseum. The layout of this place is pretty much exactly the same. Thankfully, you don't get ambushed while going through here anymore. That place was kind of annoying back in Colosseum. Anyway, 3 Ultra Balls is nice. And because the layout is the same, really all you need is to go to Gonzap's room. Okay, yeah, this fight is also one that mostly focuses on poison type, so I'm going to go ahead and swap you out for Fish Slayer, just because Fish Slayer needs a bit more experience. Hi there! Well, you recognize who I am. Kind of funny that Agrev didn't. Team Snag'em Jeddo. For some reason that just sounds like a Star Wars name to me, I don't know why. But yes, as you can see, Coughing and another Oddish. But this will change. They're not all just Oddish line users. A lot of people really like these games for the evil teams using a lot more variety in Pokemon. In fact, I could even Ice Beam that Oddish. I don't know if it will, like, outright one-shot it, but it could be an option. Let's see. Is this the first time you're seeing Ice Beam on camera, by the way? I've mentioned it before, but I really like how Ice Beam looks in XD. Definitely better than how it looked in Colosseum. And, once again, the 3 twirls. Thankfully, Gardevoir's animations are a lot shorter than Curlier's. So I have that to look forward to when it evolves. But yeah, the only place you need to go here is to Gonzap's room, so you can just skip to there and not have to fight very many people. But I want to explore the whole hideout. There are a ton of optional fights in the Snag'em hideout. Like, there are just a lot of Team Snag'em members who are just randomly walking around, and they don't even challenge you on sight. You just have to go up and talk to them, which I find... Actually, no, let's save PP. Which I actually find really bizarre. Like, you'd think that they go, an intruder, and fight you, but you don't even need to fight them unless you talk to them, so... It's weird. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. I might end up doing a few of them off camera, because this place does get very, very long if you do all the optional fights. Well, yeah, considering the move actually went off, we know who you targeted, but I guess this could confuse, so there is kind of a point to you doing that, but still. Your only options are something that is resistant to it and something that is outright immune to it, so confusion is not the best move in the situation you're in. I'm surprised that one-shotted too. Dusclops? Not Dusclops. Well, Dusclops is pretty beefy in terms of special defense, but what I meant to say was that Dustox is too. Huh, never realized that before. Dustox, Dusclops, both of them have kind of similar names. Don't poison point me, please. I just had to say it, didn't I? Well, I can just go back down to the healing machine. It's not really like that's a big deal. Does anyone else think that Quillfish looks kind of like a beach ball when it inflates? I mean, Electrode looks even more like a beach ball, but still. That might be why Electrode can learn Surf now I think about it. It can float. Might have said this before, but I'm sure someone actually calculated the correct density of Electrode, and it is enough to float, I think. That's pretty funny. Although, why didn't you just think to sleep powder me from the beginning? Yeah, I need to go back down and heal. It is kind of an elephant in the room when it comes to Pokemon games, why villainous team members don't just order their Pokemon to attack humans rather than bothering with Pokemon battles. They do apparently address that in the manga a little bit, but I've never really personally been a fan of that, just because it just makes battles seem kind of weird. It's like, oh, okay, I can just murder the opposing trainer and I win. Anyway, I forgot to remove, also found a rare candy through pickup, which is actually a pretty good item to find, considering that I'm not going to have pickup for much longer, so I might as well make the most of it while it lasts. In fact, with 2 rare candies, I could evolve one of my Pokemon that is at level 28. I might do that later on. Okay, so those stairs there are not actually the ones we need. If you're just concerned with getting to the end of this place, go down those stairs and just go up to Gonzap's room through the first floor. But I want to explore the whole area here, so we're doing this the hard way. See, here's another example of... Wait, first I'll just pick this up. 2 revives, nice. Here's another example of just a random snag and grunt who's just walking around. Like, I can just stand right in front of him. He's not even going to care. He is not going to care. And he will fight you if you talk to him, but it's weird they did it that way. Now, there is somebody who will challenge you to a battle on site in this room, and this is a pretty funny conversation, so I'll show it. Now, if I remember right, this one is a lot of water types, so... who do I go for here? Might as well keep Fish Slayer in. I guess having Orson in is not bad either. Yes, because the box lunch is the main draw of joining an evil organization. I love how they're describing it as a job interview. That's just pretty great. Team Sagam Golett. Reminds me of Golett, but you are not a Golett. That is a few generations ahead. And yeah. Okay, now Anyway, some people have said that trainers in XD always lead with fixed Pokemon, but I swear this guy did not lead with this exact combination of Pokemon when I practiced this fight. But anyway... Also, once again, while it may look like I'm over-leveled, the boss will put things back in perspective. It's kind of like Colosseum, how the bosses have much higher level than the random trainers, but it is a lot better balanced than in Colosseum. Swagger. Oh, that's terrible! Kavana is like one of the worst Pokemon to Swagger, because it has an enormous attack stat, but an incredibly abysmal defense stat. So that is really terrifying, and my Kavana has no physical moves, so I have no benefit whatsoever from being swaggered. Oh, and of course Sandslash is out in the field now, so I actually want to be using water moves on it. This is going to be a huge risk. Well, let's see how this goes. I feel kind of bad for Fish Slayer, but part of me actually wanted to see it hit itself, because I was just curious how much damage it would do. Sandslash can learn Safeguard? I am very confused. Also, I've said it before, but Aurora Beam looks awesome in XD. But why can Sandslash learn... Yeah, I'm fumbling my words here. I have no idea you could learn Safeguard. It's not like it's the most useful move or anything on you, but still, it's... Anyway. And that is most definitely not a water type. Which means I can probably just crunch it. Yeah, in fact, if you swagger Orson, it probably would be a good thing. Yeah! That is why Kavana is a Pokemon that you really don't want to get swaggered. That's also the reason why a lot of special attackers in competitive battling like to be bred to have 0 attack IV. Because that means they do less damage to themselves in confusion, also foul play. I like how... You know what? Just to be safe, I need to switch you out. I like how in, like, there's a side quest in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon where you actually can get a Ditto that has a 0 attack IV. They realize that people in competitive do breed for that, so it's kind of cool that you have that. I don't know if, like, it would be better if they gave you one with a 0 speed IV, though, because, like, that is kind of a pain. I still don't think I have a 0 speed IV Ditto, and it's what stopped me from... I know I'm going on weird tangents here, but it's what stopped me from having bred a Wishy-Washy, because I really want to train one, but I want one with a 0 speed IV for Trick Room. Okay, good. I brought Ricky in at the right time, because that Crawdon is also weak to fighting. What do I do here? What do I do here? Yeah, and for some reason there's a huge level jump, and that Crawdon is level 32. I don't know why, but yeah. Anyway, gonna go ahead and heal you, just because I want you to get the full experience from this fight, and finish off the Loudred. I wonder what was going through Game Freak's minds when they created Whismur, Loudred, and Exploud. It's like, okay, so we have Pokemon that are based on sound and loudness, and they're like these weird rabbit-y things. I mean, I don't even know what they're supposed to be. I don't want Screech, by the way. That are based on, like, boomboxes, for some reason. They're... Anyway, I mean, they're definitely not the weirdest concept for a Pokemon out there, but... Like, I'd say Sigilif is probably weirder. Like a bird based on Nazca lines. Well, actually, the Nazca lines look like birds, so it kind of makes sense, but still. Sigilif is weird. It doesn't have a mouth, and it can learn a lot of moves that imply that it would need a mouth. Did anyone else think, like, when I first saw Sigilif, I thought it would be related to Unknown, because, like, its head looks like an Unknown, so I was thinking, finally, they're actually giving something, like, I don't know, like, something useful related to Unknown. Don't know why you felt the need to pan all the way around like that, but... Anyway, it's over now, and so is this battle. Yeah, I really wish they'd do something like, for example, have, like, an Unknown quote-unquote evolution that has, like, all the Unknowns combining into, like, one super swarm of Unknown, because it's always been established, like, in the anime and stuff, that when a whole lot of Unknowns gather together, they are insanely powerful, but alone they're pathetically weak. Anyway, we have saved this guy from being suckered into this. Don't you want tough people in Team Snag'em? I love how that guy has no idea that he's being offered to join a criminal organization. Anyway, we actually have 3 rare candies now. Oh, I'm so glad that you actually picked up Hyper Potion. That's not bad. Yeah, you're just starting to get to the level where I think XD does run on the Emerald system where pickup is affected by level. Colosseum didn't. But, maybe that should be the last thing you pick up with pickup. How much... Okay, you're... there. I wonder if I should just go ahead and use those rare candies now. Because I have 3 Pokemon that are going to evolve through them, so I might as well... Okay, I can only... I need 2 to evolve one of my Pokemon, and I could either use the last one on Orson, or... Lyra will get enough experience as it is, and Orson only needs 1 level, so I think I'm going to go for 2 on Fish Slayer, because you have the slower experience group, and I think... Should I go for 1 on Lyra or 1 on Orson? Maybe 1 on Lyra, because Orson is still kind of okay, and I've at least got pickup. Anyway, 1 rare candy. And 2 rare candies. It does feel kind of bad to have something evolved by rare candies rather than achievement in battle, but anyway. It is time for shark action. I like how on this, like with my component cables, you can actually see the texture on Sharpedo's skin, which is kind of cool. And my last rare candy, I promise, actually, let me just check how close you are, because I don't want to waste it if you're... Oh, you're almost halfway there. I might as well not do that yet. Speaking of I might as well go back and heal. And you, yeah you. You want to be the testing dummy for my shark? That line is kind of interesting, though. Seems like they're not working with Cypher, they're actually against them. Hobble, that is a very unfortunate name. Well, at least someone has Smeagol. This is not the guy who had the Shadow Smeagol in the last game. I think that was Biden? We'll be seeing Biden later, but not now. I find it kind of weird how Sharpedo's gills are also its eyes. But, yeah. Finally, we have our Sharpedo. In fact, I can crunch that Giraffe egg. Let's test that out right now. And I suppose I can try and Psychic in that Smeagol. And yeah, okay, Fish Slayer is now officially the fastest thing on my team, and in fact, I think she will be the fastest thing on my team for the rest of the game. I didn't pick a particularly fast team, but I suppose Fish Slayer will pick up the slack there. Actually, I'm glad that I have Lyra in this fight. Because I have a 4 times effective thing. Okay then. Well, I can't use Sing anymore. Not like I was going to use it anyway. Now, let's see. Smeargle has absolutely pathetic defenses, so if this doesn't one-shot... It did not one-shot. That is kind of surprising. But I think I can just quickly finish you off, and then I can just Shockwave the Pelipper. Oh, I love having Evolved Pokemon. It will get even better soon, too. When I get a Gardevoir and an Ursaring. It'll be a while before I get Dusclops, though. But then this team will really start shaping up. Like I said earlier, I feel like... Oh, I'm doubly glad that I brought Lyra to this fight. I feel like... If this confuses Lyra, that would be bad. But yeah, I feel like I have been struggling a little bit in some of the fights lately, but that's because I'm just in this little... I'm in this sort of grey area where I've got some Pokemon that are almost evolved but not quite evolved, and I'm up at the point in the game where things are getting a bit harder and are probably more suited to evolved Pokemon. But once things do start evolving, then I am obviously going to be a lot better off. Kind of reminds me of, I forget, like in Persona 4, people say that Chia has this one point where she just doesn't learn anything good for a while, but once she does, she gets a lot better, but there's this mid-game point for her where she's just kind of weak because she doesn't have any good moves. Anyway, that's not this series, so let's stop talking about that. Machoker's down. Is this going to be enough to... Yes, it is. In fact, I could use my second rare candy to evolve you. But we have beaten Hobble. Well, in the Pokemon world, kids are usually tougher than most grown-ups. Except the veterans. Veterans kind of got insane in later generations. And let's see. I think there's another Snack and Grunt around here. Yeah, there's one in there, and he's, again, also completely optional. But maybe I could use a rare candy and test out some evolved Pokemon against him. Yeah, I guess Lyra makes the most sense because she's in the slow experience group. I have been waiting for this moment for a long time. Okay, one more evolution to go, but these were the two evolutions that I really wanted, because Fish Slayer and Lyra were falling a little bit behind. So yeah, if you want to look at the stats there, pretty nice, and Lyra, definitely much, much better special attack and special defense. Also, kind of better speed, too. I mean, she's now faster than Lavertine, and Ricky. Of course, Duskull's going to be pretty slow for most of the game. And, you know what? As much as I want to use my new Shark, I definitely want to get another evolution. Again, with people saying things like that, it just doesn't make much sense for them not to challenge you on sight. It's just bizarre. It's like you go up to them and say, "Hi, I'm raiding your hideout." Anyway, Apom. It's kind of a weird Pokemon for you to be using at this point in the game. That is really, really interesting, but potentially bad, because if you hit me, I lose my stab on Psychic. And that's not the best. This is going to be weird. This is going to be very, very weird. Really, I don't think the Apom is going to be doing much. I forgot that Kecleon has great special defense. I guess this will be a good test of how good my special attack is. Yeah! That is a lot, although I am 5 levels higher, but still. Scratch. Yeah, so Lyra is now normal type. I always found Gardevoir's damage animation, though, made it look like its head is just way too heavy. It just takes a while for it to get its head straightened again. It's weird. Anyway. Volbeat. If you have Signal Beam, that would be not good. Let's see what I do here. I probably want to also just double up on that Volbeat, because the Apom is really not doing much. But like I said, I've lost my stab on Psychic now. So, that is annoying. I wonder if with Stab on Psychic that would have one-shotted. I mean, it is a 1.5 times boost, so it probably would have. Kecleon does have a few strategies based around giving other things color change. Volbeat would probably be a lot better if it had better special attack, but without Tail Glow, which this Volbeat does have, by the way, but you didn't see it there. I know that because I practiced this area. I did see that Volbeat use Tail Glow before, which does only sharply raise special attack here. Only sharply raise special attack, but yeah. Rather than drastically raising special attack, which is 3 stages. You know, because Psychic isn't stab, Shockwave actually would do more to the armor. So, that's kind of funny. A rare case where Shockwave actually became good through meddling by the opponent. I guess this is one case where Trace can work against you. I really don't care because you're going to go down really quickly. I still remember one time I was playing Battle Spot and I had my Greninja out against the Gardevoir and the Gardevoir Trace Protean. And I was like, oh no! Well, I think I kind of swore then, but I was like, yeah, I was completely freaked out on seeing that, and that was pretty funny. Because it then proceeded to Thunderbolt me, and yeah. That was pretty great. Well, welcome to the world of your typical villainous team in Pokemon. Anyway, now that I've shown off the newly evolved Fish Slayer and Lyra, I should probably give some other Pokemon who need experience more attention. That is the issue with rare candy, is often your levels can get a little out of control. Well, not out of control, but your levels get a bit unbalanced. Once again, I can just waltz in, take this item, I don't even need to battle this guy. But I mean, I could if I wanted to. And, well, I suppose I probably should. Guess this is where the handheld snack machine used to be, the one that West stole. I guess West did blow up that wall. I guess that makes sense. I suppose this guy was a little bit justified that he doesn't challenge you on sight because he was distracted by other things. Gaply. Oh, okay, you're the bug guy. I remember there was a bug guy in here, and I'm glad that I put Lavertine in the party now. And I don't want to speak too soon, but I have been so lucky with Fire Blast this playthrough. I am really amazed. Because usually I have abysmal luck with it. Like, it misses for me about as much as you'd expect Stone Edge to. Or even Focus Blast. Well, I mean, it's not Bug, but it's still weak to Fire. It's always funny when you have random trainers who specialize in Pokemon that are weak to one type. Like, you'd think that, like, if they're smart enough not to use all Pokemon of the same type, then they'd at least put other things on their team that, you know, aren't weak to the same thing that their majority type is, but... Well, expecting intelligence out of random trainers in Pokemon games is... Huh, that's interesting, but, it won't really help that Beautifly, but it is an interesting option. I forgot you had Reflect. Then again, a lot of Ice types do learn Reflect in Light Screen, which makes sense, because, you know, I mean, it's like Ice and it reflects things, and... There's, you know, the Aurora Borealis and stuff. I still love Aurora Veil. Aurora Veil is awesome. That was like the push that they needed to actually make Hail good. Excuse me for a moment while I'm speechless at the fact that you have Delibird. Well, I guess it's approaching the season for Delibird, but, actually, I don't know when this video will be up. If this video actually does, come out on Christmas Day, then Happy Christmas, everyone. But, if it doesn't, then, well, yeah. And I'm about to get another evolution. Xatu. Well, at least that's not weak to fire, but still. I wish I had some kind of a... Like, I wish I had Shadow Claw. I don't think Ursaring learned Shadow Ball in this gen, so... I feel... I don't even need to use Fire Blast, but I'm going to do it anyway. Xatu has some pretty funny animations sometimes. Xatu is another weird concept for a Pokemon, because it's like a totem pole, but an actual bird that is a totem pole. Still having a really high attack stat that I can't do much with, but that may change soon. And Reflect is still up, so I wouldn't really want to do much with my high attack stat anyway. Stab Fire Blast definitely better than Super Effective Bite. Let's just say that soon we might be getting something even better than Bite. Well, I mean, it's not hard to be better than Bite, but for Flareon, it's difficult. Poor Flareon. It's just like, it's like, a lot of people like to think that Game Freak must have this irrational hatred for Farfetch or something. Farfetch is an intentional joke character. Farfetch is based on a proverb that means... Well, I guess I can talk about that later because Tedious is about to evolve. And so Orson is now a very hairy, scary bear. Haven't actually used an Ursaring before in any Pokemon playthrough, so it should be pretty fun. You keep thinking that also. Spearow is ready to be purified. Let's... Did you just... Oh, hey, you actually did pick up something. Your last pickup. I shall savor this moment. And now I don't know... Like, I can safely give you items now, but I don't really know what I have because I think Soothe Bell isn't going to make a difference because your return's already at max power. So, I really should just use Orson in the next fight just to show him off that he doesn't have, like, he's a bit too high level compared to the rest of the party, is what I want to say. Anyway. Actually, you're level 29. I should probably let someone who's lower level get some of the attention. Why is it that in pretty much... Fudlow? That is probably one of the dumbest names I've seen, and that's saying something. But why is it that like, villainous Team Grunts always have great dialogue in the Pokemon games? It's just, it's always a thing that happens. I don't think Team Skull is great, though. Like, I love Team Skull. It's like if they took the fact that you can't really take Team Galactic seriously, but actually played it intentionally for comedy. Yeah, Team Skull is pretty awesome. Ursaring looks pretty cool using Metal Claw, but it's still not the best move out there. I mean, it's the best option I have against these rock types, but I'd still like something like... Yeah, when I do get Earthquake, I wonder if I should teach that to you, or if I should teach that to... Oh, that's not good. Or if I should teach that to... Speaking of not good, you are a moron. I mean, I suppose it protects that Stantler from electric moves, but still. But yeah, I don't know who I should teach Earthquake to. Should I teach it to Orson, or should I teach it to Fish Slayer? Whoever... Actually, wait a minute. I could just teach the tutor for Double Edge to Fish Slayer. Reflect stack with Intimidate is kind of dangerous. But Orson is so brutally powerful that he just smashes right through. Yeah, I could teach Double Edge to Fish Slayer, I'm just thinking. Because, like, ghosts that are immune to it, I can just crunch them. Okay, so you've got... I'm Intimidated, you have a Reflect Up, and you have Defense Curl. Yeah, I'm not taking down that Graveler anytime soon. Also, that Mischievous being there is... I just realized that Ricky can't hurt ghost types at all. So, I actually am going to have to gang up on the Graveler. That is really terrible. I also need to teach Duskull some better moves because... What?! How do you have aerial... What?! I mean, wait, seriously, what? How does Mischievous learn Aerial Ace? It makes even less sense with the Japanese name, because its Japanese name implies the cutting move. Where the heck are Mischievous's claws? Oh, that's bizarre. Like, I had no idea you look... I'm gonna have to just go and look that up to see if you aren't cheating. Because, seriously, why Aerial Ace on Mischievous? That doesn't make much sense to me. Tropius, See, that thing I can kind of see learning Aerial Ace. Wonder who you're targeting. Okay, thank you. Didn't want you to be finishing off, me with your stupid, Aerial Ace thing. Get the attack boost, please. That'd negate the Intimidate trip. Oh. You know what? You know what? This is going to be weird, but I'm going to go for a double switch out here. This is going to heavily reduce the amount of experience I get, but I don't really care because I just kind of want to preserve my Pokemon for a bit. In fact, if I'm remembering correctly, there isn't much in the way of trainers on the lower floor. There is something down there, but it's something that we actually can't get yet, but I'm just showing it anyway for completion. I still have no idea why you learn Aerial Ace. Because, yeah, its Japanese name is Turning Swallow Cuts, which is a type of sword strike, I believe, so it makes sense as to why a lot of non-flying types can learn it. Like, it's actually, the reason why it's a flying type move is because it's a pun, so another one of those moves that's a little bit lost in translation. Kind of like curse, because in Japanese, Noroi can mean either curse or slow, so the joke is that it works as both. Yeah, level 31 already, I should rest. Let me see what I have already. Like, really, I don't need refresh, and, even though rest is not a great idea, in fact, I can call you to wake up from— you know what, maybe I will get rid of refresh for rest. If I had easy access to sleep talk, I could actually abuse that with guts. I don't think sleep talk is a mood tutor move in this game. If it was, I'd probably teach it. Because I know that the gimmick with rest on Earth's Ring is that you're meant to learn Snore as well, but Snore is just a bad move in general. I'm vaguely recalling, like, one thing where someone made Snore kind of okay competitively, but I can't really think of anything. Usually you're better off with Sleep Talk. Also, yeah, I was talking about that thing with Farfetch'd. Oh, so you're one of those newbie Team Snagger members who weren't here during the glory days of, before West ruined everything. But yeah, I was talking about the Farfetch thing. Farfetch is based on a Japanese proverb that essentially means, a sucker who's easy to take advantage of. So, the fact that you get it from a trait, also this treasure chest is locked, weirdly enough. It's kind of the first time we're seeing that. We'll deal with that later. And there's no one else on this floor. Thankfully, we can just come swing around here and go to the healing machine, which I need to use anyway. But yeah, Farfetch'd, the proverb is based around, like, if Duck comes up to you holding, like, a leek, it means that, oh wow, this thing is a complete moron, it's just given me everything I need to cook it and eat it. So, it becomes an expression for, like, a sucker who's easy, like, who's a complete idiot, who's, done something really dumb and is easy to just take complete advantage of. Tie into the fact that you get Farfetch'd through a trade in Gen 1 for a Pokemon that doesn't seem to be better than it at first glance, which is Spearow, but actually Spearow is better than Farfetch'd. So, yeah, anyway. Also, this right here. This is amazing. This TM, even though I don't need it because Gardevoir learns it earlier, Psychic. If you picked Espeon earlier, this is part of the reason why Espeon is probably objectively the best evolution in this game. Because this early for Psychic on Espeon is so amazing, it's just insane. It's probably part of why speedruns pick Espeon too. Now, I just want to see something. Does this guy stop you? No, he doesn't, which is kind of weird because this is actually Biden. So, kind of strange how fighting him is optional. I think Biden was the one who had the Shadow Smeargle in Colosseum. Oh, okay, you're full-on poison types. Probably should have used Lyra here. This Crobat, while it may look scary, actually has some bad moves. This does bring me back to something, though. I often point out how... oh, actually, this is a terrible combination of Pokemon to be using here. I suppose I can just try and confuse the Crobat. And get a... you know, you need more experience. Fire Blast is pretty much fine, regardless of whether it's super effective or not. But, oh yeah, Crobat. So some people are saying that, like, I used to always say that it's kind of weird that a lot of the evil team leaders have Crobats. Like, that it implies they're not all that bad, because Crobat evolves by happiness. But some people in comments pointed out that when you think about it, the evolution is more about how much the Pokemon likes the trainer, which means that if the Crobat respects its trainer like that much, even when its trainer is, well, bad, then it could still evolve like that, I guess. Maybe. But there is still that thing with, like, you know, just to be sure. Even though I could miss and totally waste my turn here. I love Helping Hand, this Duskull is amazing. Every Shadow Pokemon that gets Helping Hand is amazing, but yeah, this Duskull is one of the better uses of it. I love how Crobat's eyes go all swirly whenever it gets damaged. Well, I didn't miss, and this should probably one-shot. Oh, it's only level 26 Crobat anyway. But still, Crobat's stats are pretty solid. It's also really big-looking, but that's beside the point. Torkoal. Not really the best thing to be seeing here. Might need to do a revolving door of Pokemon and send in my Fish Slayer, who in this case will become a Tortoise Slayer? Duskull needs more experience desperately. Maybe I should have used the rare candies on you. Let's... Yeah, I just want to finish up this fight, so let's go for... I'm curious to see how much Quick Attack does. I know that this is kind of pointless, and I probably should be Fire Blasting, but still, I'm curious to see how much I do with Quick Attack. Let's see. I've got a really high base attack stat. Oh, that was way less than I was expecting. Oh well. But yeah, what I was saying before is that, like, there was that thing where they say that there's no such thing as a bad Pokemon, only, Pokemon only do bad things because their masters order them to. I always liked that as a concept, but it seems like the later Pokemon anime contradicted that, because they introduced an actually evil Malamar that really does do legitimately evil things, just on its own accord. Which, I don't know, I guess that ties into Dark-type being called evil type in Japan. Well, when they, because I think Meowth was the one who said that from, in the anime, and at the time that he did, the Dark type, which is called Evil type in Japan, didn't exist yet, but it's complicated. I still like to think that Pokemon can't be evil of their own volition, and they only are evil if... At least when it comes to the games. Mystery Dungeon is a different story, but I mean, there are no trainers in the Mystery Dungeon universe, so... Okay, obviously I am not going to be using Fire Blast while I am accuracy dropped. Yeah, I kind of thought something like that would happen. Let's at least just get rid of that Oddish. Hey, there is actually a funny offshoot of that line. Like, I remember from reading, like, I think it was Dogasu's backpack, like, the thing that does... I want to Fire Blast you, but I'll probably miss. The thing that does the analysis on English dub episodes, that it was saying that the Japanese, like, phrase... Well, not phrase, like, the line that Meowth says, like, after that... Actually, wait, no, it wasn't Meowth who said that. It was someone... It was, either Team Rocket's Ekans or Coughing that said the line about, Pokemon only do bad things if their master is. But Meowth's reply to that, in English, it's my master isn't around and I always act like a rat. But in Japanese, he says Goshujin ga inai, which can either mean my master isn't around or I don't have a master. And some people think the ambiguity there was intentional, but some people thought that it implied that Meowth had some kind of master who wasn't Jesse and James, but I never really thought about it that way. Because Inai is, like, literally does not exist, so... But it can mean in the sense of is not here as well, as just flat out doesn't exist. Oh, well, I guess since he didn't realize we were the kid from back then, that makes sense that he didn't try and stop us before. So, we've got 3 evolutions in this one episode, and up these stairs, up these stairs we'll be fighting the big boss. So, for the next fight, because there is actually a fight before the big one, I've got Lavertine and Lyra in, because they're going to be kind of useful here. So, all this time, we were worried about Team Snag and weaponizing the Snag Machine again, and it turns out the fact they made it for a child is the one thing that is their downfall. It's kind of funny how Gonzap sort of has his own theme now. Oh, I'm sorry, I think you're the one who should give up. Let's get revenge for that sleep power incident. Obviously, this is the guy who did that. Gloom and Gloom. Sounds like a pun on Doom and Gloom, but anyway. So, you obviously know why I used Leviathan and Lyra here. A lot of this guy's things are weak to either Psychic or Fire, so... And it doesn't just mean the Glooms, he has some other things that are weak to Fire later on, but let's see. As I showed earlier, Lyra is outspeeding Flareon, which is pretty good, but admittedly that's not that hard. And one-shotting these Glooms, which is nice, because they'll probably try and sleep powder you if, not like you as in the player character, but like you as in your Pokemon. Mantine. Well, that's kind of bad for Leviathan to be fighting, but I can Shockwave it. One of those rare cases where it is better than Stab Psychic because 4 times super effective. So, no Sleep Powder for you today. Fortress. This is the other reason why I brought Leviathan, because obviously I want to use Fire on this. I wonder if that Mantine is going to try and use Rain Dance, but even if it did, I'd probably still one-shot the Fortress. I am getting so lucky with Fire Blast. Just, it's like the game is trying to say, yeah, you're using Flareon. You deserve all the luck that you can get. Grumpig, though, is going to be a bit of a challenge for both of these. Don't know if this will do enough, though, because Mantine has enormous special defense. No, it was enough. Nice. Like, Mantine has 140 base special defense. So... Although its HP is pathetic, I just remembered. They had to buff its HP a lot in later games, but... Anyway... I could try and give this guy a taste of his own medicine and put it to sleep, but no, I think I'll just try and batter it down. Well, I wouldn't have been able to anyway. Because that happened. Okay, your special defense is nice, and another random level 32 Pokemon. I just had an idea. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to leave you in. And I'm going to see if I can get some experience for Duskull here. Because Shadow Ball. Yeah, I probably will go to the Move Tutor after this part is over and just get some better stuff on Duskull. I think you can learn Icy Wind now? It won't be doing very good damage, but at least it's something that can hit normal types. Probably shouldn't have declined Pursuit earlier. Oh, I probably have already got this Grumpig, but still. Actually should have just Helping Hand boosted this quick attacks that Duskull would have at least done something, but oh well. I still love Grumpig's Fading Animation, it looks kind of quite cartoonish. It's like, woo, like it just face bulges out for a second. And revenge for the Sleep Powder incident. Yeah, when you're not, using cheap tactics to incapacitate the trainer, you have no chance. And I didn't notice it in Colosseum, but Gonzap has an X-shaped scar on his chest. Well, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm trying to do, but not for the reasons you are. Yeah, it's the second part that I have an issue with, no. So it's fight time! Thankfully, they actually gave him a boss theme in this game! It's annoying because, like, back in Colosseum, he had significance as Wes's old boss, basically, and he didn't get a boss theme, it was just... they treated him just like a normal trainer, it was just so bizarre. But yeah, Gonzap actually has the boss theme now, and his strategy is still pretty much the same. He still loves to spam Hyper Beam. That Nuzleaf for some... that's Fake Out too. But that Nuzleaf has Hyper Beam for some reason, and when I first played this, I was thinking that he was a cheater, because I thought only fully evolved Pokemon, or at least Pokemon that were fully evolved at the point of their debut, could learn Hyper Beam. But it turns out that Nuzleaf can learn Hyper Beam. It's kind of weird, but even though it's restricted for fully evolved Pokemon for the most part. Right, as much as I'd like to take out that Nuzleaf... I mean, the Electrode isn't really a threat. The issue is that it could try and set up something like Light Screen, so I might as well finish it off, and, actually, yeah, but I can't Psychic that Nuzleaf. Well, I may as well put the Reflect up. Haven't really used Reflect in a while, but this guy loves to spam Hyper Beam, so it probably is a good thing to do. Don't trip Static, please. Let's see how things go. I'm waiting until I get over 100 special attack. That's going to be great. Vile Plume. Don't think you had that last time. Team Snag'em seems to like the oddish line these days, which is kind of weird, because they didn't really have much of an obsession with that before. There's the Hyper Beam, so I'm glad I got the Reflect up. Oh yeah, it has been redone in terms of animation since Colosseum. I don't know, in some ways I feel like it looked better in that game, but anyway, want to get rid of that Actually, Nuzleaf has to recharge anyway, so I might as well focus on taking out the Vile Plume. I wonder if this will be enough to do it. Maybe not, because Vile Plume is an evolved Pokemon, and we are roughly equal in level, but it was enough, nice. A little bit delayed with my reaction there, but was just getting my other sentence out. I still love this song, but I know I've said that way too much. Yeah. Well, this is not a good thing to be hitting with Fire Blast. Still did an okay amount of damage for a not very effective move. And yeah, you're stuck recharging. So I'm going to Fire Blast you in the face, and I'm going to just Psychic you. Lyra is definitely showing her usefulness now. And I don't know if I needed that or not. Maybe I did. But yeah, all that time spent as a relatively weak Pokemon, yeah, it was all worth it. And yeah, a lot of Gonzap's Pokemon are weak to fire for some reason. But yes, it's not a Shadow Pokemon, but Gonzap liked Skarmory so much in the last game that he's using a non-Shadow Skarmory now. I guess he found another one. And that's the only thing he has left, so might as well finish this off. Even though... well, it's another case where Stab Psychic is worse than Shockwave, because Skarmory's resistant to it, but yeah. Even though... wow, you barely did anything. So just look how much more smoothly fights are going now that my whole team has evolved. Things will get a bit more challenging later in the game, though, but for now, my evolved Pokemon are pretty strong. And we have defeated Gonzap. Yeah, his defeat animation is a lot more elaborate now than it was in Colosseum. And he's surprisingly honorable this time. He promised, so he's actually giving it back to us. Well, sort of. You're just after it for all the wrong reasons. But I guess my enemy's enemy is my ally? We got the Snag Machine back! Finally! We get something else out of this too, Gonzap's Key. We can probably tell what that opens. Well, he's going to explain it to us anyway. Well, you know I'm probably going to go back and crush you anyway after that, just in case. Oh! Ah! Didn't expect that so early. I actually will need that, but... well, I mean, you're probably a bit weaker than Cypher, so if there's only going to be one gang in Aurair, I'd much rather it be you. Anyway, let's take this. 2 full heals. And that's everything we have in this room. So let's go and open that chest, and with that, I think it'll be time to say goodbye to the Snag'em Hideout. Okay, so here is that chest. This is where the old Snag Machine was, I just remember, but it's not here anymore. With Gonzap's Key, we can open this up and get TM30. What is TM30? It's actually a very good one. Shadow Ball. Remember, this is physical in Gen 3, but it is a fantastic physical move. So, Duskull already has it, but out of my main team, the only one who can really make use of it is Laverton, and he's actually quite good at it. So, I have no reason to keep Bite anymore. And now things get really cool. And we have a convenient exit right here. So with that, that's all I'll be doing in the Team Snag 'em hideout. Next time, well, we'll be doing some optional side stuff before our main assault on Cypher's new factory, so I'll see you then.